مرحبا بكم يا أصدقائي. Before we start today's lesson, I would like to thank you all for all the support as today Serious Arabic hit 1000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you all so much. أود أن أشكر جميعكم لكل دعمكم. أنا أقدر ذلك كثيرا كثيرا. شكرا جزيلا. Okay, let's get started. So today we're going to learn how to say I think that in Arabic. And this is conveyed by two different verbs which bear the same meanings. اعتقد أن and ظن أن. لنبدأ. So اعتقد means to think. أن means that. ظن means to think. And أن also means that. Now, let's analyze these verbs in more detail. As we can see here, this is the third person singular of the past. It literally translates to he thought, اعتقد, as there is no infinitive in Arabic. So when we take a verb and we want to use it as our sort of baseline for analysis, the sort of closest thing to an infinitive, we always use the third person singular of the past, the huwa. So if you want to find the infinitive of to do, you go to he did. So huwa fa'ala, he went, huwa dhahaba. So always the third person singular of the past. Now this verb, اعتقد, is form 8. Now I will do a full series on all the different sort of verb, all the different verb forms in Arabic so that you can really master them, as this will really help you improve. But for now, this is a mere cursory explanation. So اعتقد is form 8 because the verb begins with an alif with a kasra underneath, and then in between the first and the second root letters, there is a ta. Whenever you see a verb like that, you know instantly that is form 8. Now, the root letters here are ain, qaf, and dal. Now, it's really important in Arabic learning to learn about roots and the importance of roots. As Arabic is a root-based language, if you learn roots and what the sort of meanings of the roots are, then it will become much easier for you to infer the meanings of new words. For example, there are loads of other words that are formed from this root pattern. أعتقد. So for example, عقد means contract. And if you can think of the combination of عين قاف دال as something associated with thinking, because in a contract you have to think. Another example is عقيدة, which means a doctrine. So again, in a doctrine, there's lots of thinking about idea. There's thinking to create the ideas for a doctrine. So you can sort of see the sort of general meaning behind the root. If you see the عين قاف دال, most of the time it's going to be something to do with thinking. Although not always. For example, عقد also means a decade. So you also have to learn the meaning, but it can be really helpful. Okay, let's see how we say them in the different tenses. So if we want to say in the present, I think, it's أعتقد. أعتقد. You think تعتقد. You feminine تعتقدين. يعتقد. تعتقد. نعتقد. Etc. Etc. Now the past, bit of a tongue twister. أنا اعتقدت. 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 Take some time to try and perfect that pronunciation as it's quite fiddly. So I thought اعتقدت, you thought اعتقدت, اعتقدتي, اعتقدنا, we thought. So now the next verb is much easier to pronounce. ظن also means to think. Now this verb is form 1, but it is a double verb, because you're probably thinking, why are there only 2 root letters here? That is because we know that it is a doubled verb because of the shadda, which signifies that there are 2 of the same letters. So instead of writing 2 noons, we just put a shadda on top to indicate that it is 2 noons. So the root is dha, noon, noon. But when we write it for the he thought, or the supposed infinitive form, we just put 1 noon with a shadda. Now, to say it in the present, I think, أظن. أظن أن. I think that. You think, تظن. أنت تظنين. هو يظن. He thinks. She thinks. هي تظن. نظن. يظنون. Etc. Etc. So it takes a dhamma when it's conjugated in the present. Now look here at the past conjugation. This is interesting. I thought. It's not ظننت, it's ظننت. So the he thought is huwa dhamma. but I thought is أنا ظننت. So essentially we open up the verb for the I form and we add the second nun appears. So it becomes ظننت. You thought ظننت. You feminine thought inti ظننتي. But for huwa and hiya and hum, it's ظن and ظنت. We don't open up the nun. We'll go into more detail in another video on doubled verbs, but this is just to give you an overall explanation as to why it's ظننت. Okay? So, good. That's clear, I hope. And now the word أن, which means that. Okay? Very easy, just like that in English. As in, we want to say, I think that, أظن أن. So, أن means that. So, let's see some examples now. أن اعتقدت أن الطباخ حضر الطعام. I thought that الطباخ, the chef, حضر means to prepare or make food. الطعام, the food. يظن المدير أن العامل يكذب. So the manager thinks that the customer is lying. Now look here that we have the verb at the start of the sentence, and that is because Arabic is a verb, subject, object language. That means that the verb always comes at the start, followed by the subject, which is the manager. العامل is the customer. يكذب is lying. He lies. And the past is كذب, to lie. أنا ظننت أن العطلة كانت رائعة. رائعة. I thought that, notice that we've opened it up. ظننت, I thought that العطلة, holiday, كانت رائعة. رائعة means great. This, if you're going to ask what this fatha tanween is on the top, this is because of kana. We'll see this in another video. This is more complex grammar, which is to do with case. Okay, great. Very simple. You know, you have I think that, and then you put the subject afterwards. But what if we want to say I think that you are, or I think that he is? Just like we saw in our previous video with bisabab, we need to add suffixes to anna. We can't just say أنا أظن أن أنت. Nope. We've got to add suffixes to anna to change it. Let's see them. Just like in bisabab, we add the suffixes to anna. So it's I think that I am. I think that I am. I think that I am kind. أظن أنني لطيف. أنني. So not أن أنني. أنت, it's not أن أنت. أنك. أنك. أنه. أنها. أنهما. أنهما. أنكما. أننا. أنكم. أنكن. أنهم. أنهن. Let's see some examples to illustrate this. أنا أعتقد أنه وقح. I think that he is rude. So it's not أنه, it's أنه. So we add the suffix to the أن. This means that he is. وقح, great word, it means rude. Okay, you can also say فظ. فظ also means rude. Or وقح. وقح. نحن نظن أنك ذكي. We think that you are clever. ذكي is clever. أنك. Not أن أنت. أنك. اعتقدت أنهم كانوا مضحكين جدا. اعتقدت أنهم كانوا مضحكين جدا. So I thought that they, not أنهم, not أن. Okay, well actually this one is fine. You just bring it together. هم and أن, أنهم. كانوا مضحك. مضحك is clever. Funny. And the ending is ina, not una, because of the kana. It is to do with the case, which we'll see in another video. So مضحك means funny, and جدا means very. أنا ظننت أنها كانت لطيفا للغاية. ظننت, I thought that she, أنها, not أن هي, أنها. لطيف is kind. Notice we have the فتحة تنوين because of the kana. And للغاية is another way to say very. I didn't put this at the end, but it should be she was very kind. So for very you can say جدا or للغاية. Okay? That's all for today. If you've got any questions, please do put them in the comments. And if you found this useful and you aren't already subscribed, please hit subscribe as it really helps the channel grow. شكرا جزيلا وإلى اللقاء.